Hope will arise out of the ashes of our past broken relationships, fractured families, and personal struggles. Come walk a mile with me as we allow Jesus to clean out the mess and organize the rest. Welcome to the Bridging Broken to Breakthrough podcast. I am your host, Maria Wingard. Grab your shoes, lace them up as we start strolling through this week's episode. Continuing with Offendable Me, this is Recovery, Part 3. I am a do-it-afraid type of person, speaking out loud to myself. I can do this, more times than I can recount. Whether it's scuba diving with sharks or jumping from cliffs, taking risks is my MO. However, I found that I just could not make myself kayak the Florida waterways due to alligators. I was convinced they would capsize my kayak, then death roll me to the murky river bottom. For some reason, sharks don't bother me, but alligators do. Navigating some relationships in life is more often than not similar to being thrown into alligator-infested waters. You're paddling along, minding your own business when, bam, you're now fighting for your life. So when we feel these undercurrents growing and do not know why or what to do, it's okay to hit the pause button after attempting communication of the desire for relationship. Quote, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. Ecclesiastes 3:5. Stop calling. Stop pursuing. Let them go. If they want you in their life, they will reach out. For in all of our relationships, the extent that we are willing to bring up and resolve issues indicates to what extent we value that relationship. And holding on to someone fighting to get away is the same as jumping out of a kayak straight into an alligator's mouth. You will be bitten and barrel rolled to your emotional death. I love how Jordan Peterson addresses this. Quote, if people are not listening to you, stop talking to them. That's the best piece of advice I can give you. What happens is if you stop talking to people who aren't listening to you and you start watching them instead, they will tell you what they're up to. So, if you have things to say them, but you find people who are willing to listen and talk to them. For the ones who aren't listening, pull back because you are devaluing what you have to say by offering it to an audience that does nothing but reject it. End quote. For certain relationships, for various reasons, we tremendously want to work out so much so that we will twist ourselves into pretzels while they're literally vying for any reason to jump ship. This is us casting our pearls before swine or kayaking with alligators in murky water. This desire to be the hero in someone's story when unfortunately you've already been slated as their villain. These are life facts. Everyone is hated by someone. Everyone is loved by someone. And no matter what you do, you will not be the exception to either of these facts. So, focus on those that love you, pray for those that hate you, and don't let either distract you from what God has called you to do. This is honestly like the prodigal father being declared dead while still very much alive. And I believe the majority of people have experienced a relationship resembling this. Suffice it to say, reciprocity is missing. And while we're chasing, they're looking for opportunities to capsize our kayak, then death roll us for dinner. All of us, at some point in time, have bent over backwards for someone who took what was offered and treated it casually as if it was the expectation, not gift. When offense hits their heart, they're quick to forget the never-ending sacrifices while focusing on their pain points. Somehow, they have plenty of grace for others committing far worse intentional offenses, but unyielding hurt over your accidental, unintended humanness. For, quote, a brother offended is more unyielding than a strong city, and quarreling is like the bars of a castle. Proverbs 18:19. This slanderous gossip is akin to murder. It's killing someone alive. they become the walking dead. They're dead in our world, just like the prodigal father, and death rolled to the bottom of the river. Offense is birthed from pride, which leads to downfall. Quote, pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before the fall. Proverbs 16:18. One's pride will bring him low. Proverbs 29:23. Gossip is birthed out of pride, this feeling of superiority entitling discussion of actions from the perspective of how wrong they are or how it should be done. Job 41 discusses pride as Leviathan. My healthy respect for alligators makes perfect sense after all. Quote, will he speak to you soft words? Lay your hand on him. Remember the battle. You will not do it again. Around his teeth are terror. His heart is hard as stone, hard as the lower millstone. He is king over all the sons of pride. End quote. I am learning to not tangle with people intent on being offended, because just like cornering a cat gets me scratched, similarly, once pride is offended, hearts get shredded. Avoiding alligators has its advantages. I am grateful you decided to walk a mile with me, your host, Maria Wingard, on the Bridging Broken to Breakthrough podcast. I pray that through our conversation, Jesus reveals how he is bridging broken to breakthrough as we stroll through another mile in this journey called life. Hope will arise if you let him in your life today. To listen to past episodes or find out more, please visit hopewillarise.com.